So Lily is literally thinking foot, 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 foot. It's not sexy, but it works really, really, really well. Do you feel like you should be feeling your glutes and hamstrings more when you're RDLing? Well, this is going to be a good one. So, one thing we're going to do today is we're going to utilize this band to feel, hear more. How are we going to do that? Pretty simple. Okay, so if you've watched the video with the RDL around the shin, it's going to be very similar to that, but pay attention to a little bit of nuances nonetheless. First things first, we've got to attach this band to an anchor point. We're going to put this band around the hips, so we do want to kind of line it up roughly there. It doesn't matter if it's exactly even with your hips, but you don't want it to be like too high or too low. It does need to be roughly hip height. Here, create a loop, stick the other side through, and there you go. From here, Lily's just going to step herself in. Careful getting into this one. If you need to, anchor lower and then bring it up higher. Okay, and we want this thing to be able to hold Lily's hips straight back. Okay, the one thing that you don't want is if it's too high, it's going to pull you too high up. And if it's too low, it's going to encourage more of a bit of a squatty pattern. So that's why we want roughly hip height. From here, we're going to get in a nice RDL stance. Now, know that each person's stance is going to be a little bit differently, but in general, it's going to be roughly shoulder width with your feet slightly turned out, somewhere probably between like 5 and 20 degrees. If you do want some more help figuring out what your ideal position is, message us on Instagram or shoot us an email or follow us on our website, and you can just reach us there. Okay, so first things first, Lily's going to take a nice 360-degree breath. She's going to create some tension in her lats. Okay, we don't want to be here with her upper tract. We want to be here with her lats. Okay, she's going to think about finding a nice balance between the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the two bony parts at the bottom of the heel. Okay, and staying centered right over the middle of her foot. And we want to stay focused here, because staying focused here is going to be a representation of how everything else is moving above us. But it's going to be way easier to focus on thinking about just staying balanced right here. That's going to be thinking about how the ankle, knee, hip, pelvis, low back, mid back, upper back, neck, shoulder, elbow, wrist, all that. It's way too much. Way too much.
Hold all in my mind, that's for sure. So this is almost like a lipness test because your feet do not lie.
Yeah, but we got 2 doctorates and that's already too much. So like, let's just keep it simple. Okay, so Lily's going to take a nice big 360-degree breath, create tension in her lats, find good positioning on her feet, even just to pick up this dumbbell to get started. We don't want to get hurt before we get started. Back here. So as Lily comes back up, just come back up. Okay, so Lily's going to take that breath. She's going to find the position on her feet, and then she's going to feel how this band's pulling her. Now, what she's really going to do is focus on the bottom of the feet and staying centered there, and just let the band hold her back into position. Okay, so just focus on the feet, let the band pull you. From here, Lily, don't go yet. Really make sure you have your good brace, your lats are turned down, you're staying centered over your feet. Then from here, just drive through the center of your foot, squeezing the musculature back here. If you're in a really good position, you should just be able to focus on firing through the hip joint, and all this should be on already because of that eccentric loading that took place with you going in the bottom position as the band pulled your hips back.
Can you comment a little bit on how tight you let this band be?
Yeah, so we are going to need enough. So as you can see, there's some wiggle room here. It doesn't like actively yank Lily back. You don't want to have the band so tight that it's going to pull you out of position. Right? The goal is to have this drill help you with position. If you can't stay in that position while we're practicing right now, it's not helping you with that position. It's creating a different position. And with that being said, if it's too loose, come back, 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 back. It won't be enough tension for your brain to kind of trigger that, like, oh shoot, they're trying to teach me something here moment. So you want enough tension there where you can feel your brain trying to think through something new, but not so much that you're having to like fight the whole time just to stay standing. You're able to stay standing fine, and it should be able to pull you back.
Absolutely. And honestly, the coming back up part and being able to use your hips and your glutes is a place where a lot of people have a really big challenge. So this is really nice because the band gives you some feedback in that range, and it gives you a little bit of resistance for you to really turn the glutes on against, as long as you keep your pelvis and your diaphragm aligned. This is going to really help you learn how to actually use your butt to extend your hips instead of your low back.
And you may want to go slow at first. What you might find is that if you go too fast while learning this, you don't feel it anymore. And just know that you're using this exercise to learn it. So go the speed that you need to learn it and worry about the other stuff later.
Yes. I'm going to show you guys just 2 more so you have a visual.
Lily, can you walk through your checklist?
Yes. My checklist every single time, thank you, is what we talked about in the chin retraction video. So lifting through the top of the head, drawing the chin back through the throat gently. And then I get my 360-degree breathing all the way around and into my pelvic floor so that I know that my pelvis is neutral. Really common people go into this anterior tilt, right? So pull the front of those suspenders up so that your pelvis is neutral. So it's chin retraction, breath, and then I go to the center of my feet, that place that I want to keep my weight the whole time. And once I have a steady breath, which means I can't talk to anymore, then I'm going to lower down and stay completely focused on where my weight is on my feet, because it's going to tell me how everything else is going. It looks like this.
So Lily is literally thinking, but. It's not sexy, but it works really, really, really well.
Foot. Okay, you guys, enjoy the exercise.